In the beginning of episode 1, our main character Yuya tells us that he hasn't been warmly welcomed by this world, but he still wants to help in any way he can. Later, while walking, he comes across some boys who are bothering a girl and he decides to help her. We can see that Yuya is quite overweight and out of shape. When he tries to stop the boys, they beat him up badly, leaving him in a bad condition, which shocks the girl. The boys run away when the police arrive and the girl tries to help Yuya, but he refuses her help and walks away, saying that he's used to all these things. Later, when Yuya goes home, he remembers his grandfather's words, who taught him to help those in need. Yuya then confesses that he knows he's ugly and that people are troubled by his appearance. He remembers how he was bullied in school, not just by his peers, but also by his parents at home. In middle school, the harassment got worse and his grandfather was the only one who looked after him and taught him that helping others brings happiness. However, Yuya lost his grandfather before long, but before he passed away, his grandfather had made all the property, including the house and some savings, in Yuya's name. Yuya's parents had also come to take their share, but his grandfather had arranged things in such a way that they couldn't take anything. This caused Yuya's parents to cut ties with him and leave him alone. Yuya started working part-time to earn money. During Yuya's graduation ceremony at school, he sees that his report card has many negative comments about him, but he ignores it and heads back home. However, some boys start to bully him and he tells them that he has a part-time job and needs to be on time, but they don't listen and beat him up badly. Yuya's brother and sister don't come to his aid and just stand there watching. Yuya faints and when he wakes up, he realizes that he's late for work. When he gets there, he finds out that he's been fired. Later, at home, he's eating cheap food. When he goes to washroom for washing his hands, he takes a look at himself in the mirror, after which he hits the mirror and cuts his hand. He cries and says, "What should I do?" At that moment, a secret area opens up when he touches the wall. Inside, he finds many old and unique items that his grandfather must have collected. He remembers that his grandfather used to travel a lot and these items must have been souvenirs. Then he sees a door that looks different and opens it to find a strange room. A menu pops out of nowhere, on which another world is written, which Yuya does not believe at first, but he starts to read it carefully. It says that he has gained many skills and titles, making Yuya feel like it's just a game and wondering if his status will change. As soon as he thinks this, his status changes and it is written that he is still at level 1, which depresses him and he says that his level is so low. Then he opens a window and is shocked to realize that he is in another world. When he turns back, he finds a letter on the table that he starts to read. However, he cannot understand the language of the letter until he unlocks a skill that allows him to read any language. After equipping this skill, he reads the letter and understands that the owner of the house was going to die, and before his death, he wrote in the letter that whoever finds the house after his death will become the owner and all the things inside the house will belong to that person. There is a protective magic on the house, which means that no one besides Yuya can enter the house, meaning only Yuya can enter it. Yuya becomes quite confused, wondering who was the owner of the house who had used magic. Then, he picks up a sword and reads its stats, realizing that it is quite powerful and dangerous. He feels happy when he sees that there is plenty of space outside the house where he can practice. However, he falls down while practicing with the sword as he is not very skilled at it. Suddenly, he gains the skill of swordsmanship, making him think that maybe he is acquiring these skills so quickly because he is from a different world. He finds more weapons while wandering around and gains another skill called True Martial Arts, which gives him all the skills of martial arts. After putting his weapons in a box, he hears a noise from behind and realizes that a big ogre is coming to attack him. The ogre tries to break through the protection spell, but it fails to do so. It then throws a huge tree at Yuya, which also fails to break through the fence. Yuya picks up a spear and attacks the ogre, killing it, which instantly makes him level up to 100. He also gains many items that the ogre dropped when it died, and he finds out that these items are quite powerful. When Yuya returns home, he sees an open menu which has a cash out option, and he gets 1.5 million yen for killing the ogre. When he wakes up the next morning, he notices that his body has changed, and he now has abs. However, he can't see his face because he had broken the mirror he had in the house. After waking up, Yuya goes back to the world where he receives some new clothes. Upon arrival, he notices that there are some herbs that can be used to cure certain conditions. Suddenly, another monster, a large slime, attacks him, but Yuya uses his spear from his inventory to defeat it. He finds some new items, including a rare necklace, which he decides to wear. Later, he receives 500,000 yen and uses it to buy a new school uniform. He enjoys his new life in this world, cooking food and fighting monsters. In the evening, he fights and easily defeats an elite goblin, but this time he does not level up. The next day, he returns to school and is noticed by everyone, especially girls who are excited to see him. His bullies ask him if he is a new student, and he reveals that he is actually Yuya Tenju. Everyone is shocked to learn this. Yuya goes to the washroom, feeling surprised and confused about his situation. Later, a group of people surround him and ask if he is really Yuya. His siblings tell him that no matter how much he changes, he can never leave them behind. Suddenly, a car pulls up, and a girl gets out and asks if he is Yuya. It turns out to be the girl he had saved before. The episode ends here.